Hey y'all, this is your K-pop auntie Carly, and this is Doc. Doc is a good boy. This is Xdinary Heroes. I do not know if Xdinary Heroes are good boys or villains. Who knows? We're villains, they're heroes. We'll figure it out. This is Crack in the Mirror. We don't have... They're new. These are new guys, and these are mini albums, so we have one MV per album so far. Awesome. The last haircut was a pretty cool MV, I have to say. Crack in the Mirror. We're going to do just kind of this overview here first without any lyrics, and then I'm going to pop over to a lyrics version to see what they're talking about, because these guys do have lyrics. They don't just have kind of anthem-y types of songs. They're generally saying something in these. And this has a very Edward Scissorhands look to it. Like, if any of you out there are either old like me or like watching campy video movies from, oh gosh, was Edward Scissorhands the 90s now, or was that the early 2000s? It might have been the 90s. It was Johnny Depp. One of his he takes some interesting roles on sometimes, and yeah, Juyeon is definitely giving me Edward Scissorhands looks right now, and all the thorns and stuff and the scissors. It doesn't help any. Okay, let's get into this. First without the lyrics, second with the lyrics. Let's turn it up. Okay. Ooh. That is... And I was about to drop. I paused it. I'll bring it back just a hang on. I'll bring it back just a second so that I get the full drop in there. First impressions is I really like this. I am a rock fan. I kind of forgot how much I'm a rock fan. Like, I enjoyed Day 6, don't get me wrong, but these guys play more of the kind of alt rock with a little bit of a grunginess to it that I like, without tipping straight on over into like heavy death metal. My husband listens to angry screamo death metal type music, and some of it I like. And don't get me wrong, Disturbed and stuff is cool, but yeah, this is my style of rock music, absolutely. And they're doing some fun stuff with the instruments in there. It's a little bit all over the place in the best way. I love that high guitar whine that comes in there, and they got some heavy bass beats to match it. So I'm on board for this one. You on board, bud? We're going back in. I'm gonna be addicted to their guitars, aren't I? I think so. Yeah. Static sound. Ooh. Yeah. I was about to say, I'm catching the keyboard in the background there, and I'm liking the notes from the keyboard. It complements really well here. There. it does kind of have a, it does kind of have a Edward Scissorhands, and not only that, the, what's the other guy that has the, oh gosh darn it. That's me behaving myself with my mouth. Gosh darn it. I went and saw a play with it, and I'm forgetting the sound. He commits murder with a hairdresser type of dude. It's the name of a person. The play. You know, and tell me in the comments what I'm trying to remember. The name of a guy murders play. It's like the very sound of this, like it's kind of that creepy type of sound that comes in here, and it's very reminiscent of both of those. Coming in over. Yeah. Wow, with a mirror at the end. Nice. I can't believe that some of these guys like didn't play instruments before. Like they were in the system to become idols, and JYP was just like, "Hey, you guys want to form a band?" And like some of them played. Like I mean, obviously Gunnel was in college for forget what his major was, playing drums and all. Some of these guys had never, like, they didn't play, and this sounds fantastic. Like I do think I'm going to love that guitar in their music more than anything. It's what my ear is naturally attracted to. There's some great drumming in here. My ear was attracted to the keyboard at one point and everything, but man, those guitars, that's the focal point of a good rock band, is those guitars. Let's get into the lyrics here. Yeah, that was Doc, and that is the kitten right there, right here. That's the kitten. Where's my hand? It's all in reverse in the camera. So she's doing well. I'm getting the lyrics up, though, because there was some English lyrics in here that I did catch. I thought I had something about being addicted to is that right? And cracking the mirror as well. Otherwise, I don't really know what this song is about. So let's get in here. I really enjoyed the song. I'm gonna like this album, the entire thing, aren't I? I'm stoked that this was the group that I decided to get on board with from the beginning, because they're reminding me how much I like this kind of rock music. I hadn't listened to this kind of rock music since I was probably like in my teens, to be honest with you, early 20s, and I was like into it. But then I got into college and didn't have time to like be into something other than my book. Plural, books. In fact, my roommates put the portrait of a very attractive man on my thick history textbook at once, and so that they could say I was finally going on a date. Jerks. There we go. I'm getting used to it. I'm reflected in the mirror. As are we are. I definitely felt yesterday's difficulty. It was firm. Before I know, suspicious, all night long, my worries are increasing. It started from a point where you couldn't even see it. Okay. Crash in my head, crump, crush, split it in two, and split it again. So I'm trying to think of. It started from a point where you couldn't even see it. My ongoing dilemma with the word it. I don't know what it refers to. I don't know if it refers to the crack that they just were saying there. Like the crack started from a point where you couldn't even see it, which happens. When you, like with a mirror or a window or something, the crack will kind of come out of the frame where you can't see where it had begun. But it could also refer to these, like the suspicion and the worries. Like my suspicion and my worries are, that's what started from a point where I couldn't even see it. Like, why am I suddenly worrying and becoming suspicious? Like, I don't even know why I couldn't see it coming. So I don't know what it is. It might be in the rest of it here of the song. Split it in two and split it again. I'm guessing that it is the head. Split my head in two. Digging in sharply and slowly opening. I can see the other me through the gap. Okay, so we have the mirror. I think it is the mirror that is cracking, because you can now see yourself through the gap in the mirror. So I'm guessing that is referring to the real you. You know, that's you can put up a mirror and you can see that face that you are putting on, but then you smash that surface level, you smash that mirror, and then there's the real you. Okay. And the shards, I'm guessing, of the mirror are what are sharply digging in and slowly opening. Crack in the mirror. In my heart, there's a thin gold. Even me, it's confusing. I don't know who I am. Alright, so a song of searching. Crack in the mirror. In my heart, there's a thin gold. I'm guessing that's, like, we always say, like, a silver lining. You know, that's the saying in the U.S. There's always a silver lining to everything, which means there's always something good. Even in bad things, even you can see a silver lining. There's always a little something good in there. So I don't know if that's kind of like that type of metaphor. Like, in my heart, there's a thin gold, kind of like there's a silver lining here. I'm like, that's what I'm getting out of that. Even me, it's confusing. I don't know who I am. Yeah, I don't know who I am. Like, am I the person that I stare at in the mirror every day, or am I that person underneath who's revealed once the cracks, you know, in that facade come? I guess I've lost myself. Even if you cover the gap with both hands, it goes bad. A gradual sign of collapse. Just trying to go back to what I was, though. Okay, so trying to cover up the holes in the mirror that's exposing the person underneath, trying to cover it up, and just trying to go back to what I was, just trying to go back to that reflection in the mirror. The more I look at you, the more crack spreads above your face. I'm guessing you is the person in the mirror. Like, the more I look at you, they're looking at that, talking to the person in the mirror. The more I look at you, the more crack spreads above your face. And I'm guessing that's a iffy translation because prepositions in particular are hard. For some reason, in all the languages I've learned, and I've learned several, none that are really practical. Above, like, prepositions are weird because, like, the word for above can also mean, like, around, and, like, it's just it's the prepositions are weird. The more the crack spreads, like, above and around, and, like, the more it spreads on top of your, like, all sorts of direction. Crash in my head, crump, crush, split in two, and split again. Begin sharply, slowly opening. I can see the other me through the gap. Crack in the mirror. In my heart, there's a thin gold. Even me, it's confusing. I don't know who I am. To someone can be a hero. Is that to someone I can be a hero? Someone can be a hero. For someone, maybe. Interesting. So that little bit did just kind of bring it in for me to the overall theme that they have of this anti-hero. Going on, or they're it was in Haircut as well, that they're not the heroes, like the Superman type heroes. They're more like the Batman, the Batman or the Suicide Squad type heroes. That and maybe even them who have all these cracks and they're putting on a face, but there's like this little silver lining. There's this little thread of gold in their heart. Like even if their heart, and again in the last one that I reacted to in this album, Haircut, they're talking about how their heart is kind of dark and stuff, but hey, there's this little thin gold coming through in this song, so that even that darkness, even them, maybe even somebody as flawed as they are, maybe even they can be a hero for someone. I like that concept. That's really cool. Even me, it's confusing. I don't know who I am. Who is that person in the mirror? And I said before that search for self. Crack in the mirror. That search for self, not especially with public personas like this. We all have that to a certain degree, though. It's the exceptionally rare individual who is just like 100% themselves all the time, no matter what the situation. And to a certain extent, like that's not called for. You can't be the exact same person in a bar having a great time with your friends as you are at a funeral. It's so we all understand this to a certain extent. But there are certain times that, like, for these guys, particularly, idols that are expected to behave to a certain level. And I'm sure there are plenty out there who also understand, like, that you are held to a certain level. And it's like, after holding that level for so long, after holding that face for so long of who you are expected to be in a certain situation, it can be years. And then all of a sudden you're going, who am I? Like, is this person that I've been pretending to be? Like, I'm kind of becoming that person. Am I that person? Or is it the person that's behind the mirror? Like, which me is me? Because after filling a role for so long, that does kind of creep into like who you are, and it's not always a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to fill a certain role. It's just, you get confused after a while, and I think the answer is it's all you. It's all part of who you are, and it's an interesting question of self-identity, though. I like it. And I like the message that they have of, at least what I'm getting out of this song, and the message that they have of the flawed individual can still be a hero to someone. I would hope so, because I'm right there. I'm right there. Thanks for watching with me, y'all. Say bye to the cats, and have yourselves a wonderful day.